There's a financial issue quietly building in the background right now, and it has the potential to impact millions of households. It's what many are calling the student loan default cliff. And whether it affects you directly, your children, or someone in your household, it's something that deserves immediate attention. You see, for several years, federal student loan borrowers were given a break. Payments were paused during the pandemic, and for many people, that pause created a sense that urgency around student loan debt repayment kind of had faded. But that environment has changed. Student loan payments have resumed. Collections have resumed. Credit reporting has resumed. The system is fully back on, but a significant number of borrowers never fully re-engaged with their student loans. And now we're seeing the consequences. Recent data shows that 1 in 4 student loan borrowers with a payment due is delinquent. That's nearly triple the pre-pandemic levels. And even more concerning, nearly 9 million borrowers are already in student loan default. And default is not just a missed payment. A federal student loan enters default after 270 days of non-payment. And once that threshold is crossed, the consequences escalate quickly. Defaulting on a federal student loan is not like defaulting on a credit card. The federal government has powerful collection tools. They don't need a court order to use them. So what does that mean? They can garnish up to 50% of your wages. They can intercept your tax refund. And in some cases, they can even reduce your Social Security benefits. On top of that, collection fees can increase your loan balance by 16 to 25%. Borrowers also lose access to income-driven repayment plans, deferment, forbearance, and future aid until the default is resolved. And of course, the credit score impact can be significant and long-lasting. Now, it would be easy to assume that people in this situation were simply irresponsible, but the reality is more nuanced. You see, the student loan system has been in constant transition for years. Borrowers went from no payments to restarting payments to temporary protections and back again. Some people changed addresses. Others missed key notices. Many simply lost track during the transition. So what we're seeing now isn't just a behavior issue, it's also a communication breakdown within the student loan system itself. So what should you do if you're already in student loan default? The first step is to engage, not avoid. You want to contact the Department of Education's default resolution group and begin the student loan rehab process. Rehabilitation typically involves agreeing to a structured payment plan based on your income. And in many cases, payments are around 15% of discretionary income, but for those facing financial hardship, payments can be as low as $10 per month. Successfully completing rehabilitation can also help remove the default from your credit report, which is a major step for financial recovery. There is also a limited time window for relief right now. Student loan collections, including wage garnishment, are temporarily paused. But that pause is expected to end when the new federal fiscal year begins on July 1st. So if you've been putting this off, the time to act is not later, it's now. There are also some meaningful policy improvements worth noting. Borrowers now have 2 opportunities to rehabilitate defaulted student loans, whereas historically, they only had 1. Now, if you're not yet in default, but you are behind on payments, the strategy is even more straightforward. A loan becomes delinquent immediately after a missed payment, and it can be reported to credit bureaus after 90 days. So early action is critical. Log into studentaid.gov, identify your loan officer, and start the conversation. In many cases, your monthly payment can be reduced through an income-driven repayment plan, or temporarily paused through deferment or forbearance if needed. The bottom line is this: the federal student loan system is back in full enforcement. The risks like default, wage garnishment, and credit damage are real. If you take action early, there are clear paths to avoid default, lower your payments, and regain control of your student loans. If this is impacting you or your family, it's worth addressing now before it becomes a much bigger problem later.